sushi guru to the stars, trend-setting Japanese food, Robert De Niro's personal art collection, Nobu, New York City, next on Dining in Style. Manhattan's most celebrated sushi restaurant, Nobu, the place to see and be seen, where supermodels, film stars, senators,
Thanks very much.
and sushi connoisseurs flock, where you can dine in style in one of the city's trendiest neighborhoods, Tribeca.
John Jr. lives right down the block.
The restaurant was created by world-renowned chef Nobu Matsuhisa, actor Robert De Niro, and restaurateur Drew Nieporent.
The restaurant's a destination restaurant. A lot of music people, a lot of fashion people, and obviously a lot of celebrities, but a lot of people just love good food.
Good food? Nieporent is too modest. Critics call the food outstanding.
We call it new style Japanese because actually Nobu is rooted in some traditional cooking of both Japanese hot food and the sushi bar. But what Nobu Matsuhisa has done, because he's world traveled, is he's created a repertoire that's really his. And he likes to call it new style. And when we say new style, which means there's a little twist and turn that makes these dishes really his.
The team flourished from the day they met at Matsuhisa, Nobu's Los Angeles restaurant.
So this restaurant big success because good food, good service, good management, good decorations. So in good light locations. I think it's the most very hot place. I love it. I saw Bob De Niro's about 11, 12 years ago. I cooking for him, and after the closed restaurant, we sit down and talk together, so drink together. He said, Nobu, can you come to New York to opening restaurant? It's Bob De Niro is it's a warm heart, and it's a big heart.
Nobu Matsuhisa is a culinary renegade, reinventing sashimi for the American palate.
I show you the new style sashimi. So this is see the fresh fluke and sliced piece. This is like my white canvas, you know. This is fresh garlic. So this is the gingers. This is the fresh chive, sesame seed. It's traditional way. It's called usuzukuri.
Sushi is raw fish with rice. Sashimi is raw fish without rice. It is served raw to protect the essence and flavor of the fish. Nobu put a new style twist on a traditional dish to satisfy a customer who didn't like raw fish.
I hope that she tries something, a little tiny bite. Then to the kitchens. I don't know how can I do it because she doesn't like raw fish, but I have to do something with her. Oh, okay, wait a minute. I pick up the oil. This is extra virgin olive oil. It's tiny sesame oil. Then, can you hear? See? I sent by myself to the table. It's a lady. I know you don't like raw fish, but I tried my best. I'm Japanese. I grew up from raw fish. So raw fish is very good for you. If you don't like it, don't eat. But please try the one bite. She used a chopstick now and tried one bite. She said, right? Then tried the two bite. After three bite, she finished all. This is the new style sashimi story. Now is this restaurant, or my restaurant, the most popular dish this one, called the new style sashimi.
Matsuhisa's eclectic style comes from his global sensibility.
So this is a fresh scallop, you know, and it's a fresh scallop, so you can eat raw. Sashimi is always the wasabi and soy sauce, right? But this one doesn't use any soy sauce. This is sea salt. This is fresh cilantro. So this is a spicy chili paste from the Peru. So now it's very colorful, isn't it? Then this is lemon juice and Japanese citrus juice. It's called yuzu. And it's very tasty, very unusual. So this is my creation dish also. It's called tiradito.
South American spices collide with Japanese flavors. groundbreaking takes on classic sushi and sashimi make Nobu one of the hottest spots in town. Richard Notar manages the restaurant, where scoring a reservation is an art in itself.
We had the autograph hounds outside, and we're getting the paparazzi. I had an incident with the paparazzi the other day. Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan were here, and they wanted to go out the side door, so I did. I went and I got a cab for them.
Nobu Matsuhisa attracts a loyal following.
You know, once someone came in, it was actually Herb Ritz, that said, you know, the waiter came up to me and said, "Richie, what is Cindy rice?" And I'm thinking, and then I remember Cindy Crawford. I had to call LA and say, "What the heck is Cindy rice?" And they said, "Oh, it's kakiaki nabori." So that's like the relationship we have with the other restaurant. So then we finally knew what it was. So when the waiter came over and asked, "What is Cindy rice?" I knew exactly how to order for them. But she's a big fan of Nobu's food, and they have a good relationship.
Coming up, the awe-inspiring decor, a fantasy forest, and Robert De Niro's personal art collection on Dining in Style. The chic and the trendy flock to Nobu in Tribeca, New York City, where Japanese style and American taste create a space with instant allure. David Rockwell designed the dramatic fairy tale forest setting.
We're in Tribeca, Manhattan, and we're in a building that's part of a lot of great old lofts. The idea here was to have a lot of surprise and to have a facade that basically keeps the old industrial storefront. Nobu is not from the city, he's from the country, and there are so many wonderful references relating to the Japanese countryside. We wanted an element of kind of delight and surprise, and thought that if we could have a row of trees that relate as much to arches as they do to regular trees. So they're abstracted sculptural trees made out of birch trees, so that when you moved through, you'd have an experience where this kind of landscape unfolds.
Nobu's exotic interpretation of Japanese seafood inspired the subtle decor.
In Nobu's presentation, the quality of the food is critical, and there's almost a translucent quality to the fish. it led us to the idea of, for instance, the sushi bar being this translucent alabaster. Nobu is the star, and the sushi chefs as the star would be front and center, similar to kabuki theater.
Kabuki theater is the metaphor. The sushi chefs are the stars.
That's what led us to this wonderful fan-shaped wall that sits behind the sushi bar.
A mosaic wall is the backdrop for Nobu's eclectic Japanese cuisine.
This is done by an artist named Elizabeth McDonald. These are hand glazed, and it goes from kind of a tea green down to a cinnamon color, each tile hand colored and hand glazed. It makes a really great backdrop.
The sushi bar is the stage.
Here we are in a place very few people get to be, which is behind the sushi bar at Nobu. And you can sort of feel the energy of being back here. It really is centered in the room. You're about 6 inches higher than the floor out there, and your ability to service all of these people and be in control of the food experience is very strong.
Custom chairs with chopstick legs have gold leaf details.
What you find is that when you sit here, you're at a height where the chef is a little bit taller. He's actually built up on a platform, but there's the right kind of communication between the customer and the sushi chef.
Handcrafted bronze sconces suggest samurai swords. 3 basic curves define the space.
The first is the curve of this back wall of the sushi bar, and that line actually continues and then starts to curve around on the other side of this column where we have this pebble wall.
Forget the austerity of the Japanese aesthetic. Nobu's atmosphere is textural and warm.
We wanted everything in this restaurant to feel good to the touch. The fabric on the banquettes is a very rich chenille. The scorched ash, you can actually feel the texture, you can feel the grain. And to go along with the trees, we wanted some kind of abstraction of river.
500,000 pebbles create the river rock wall.
It really has a wonderful texture, and we've used very simple uplighting on it. You can see how the uplighting really brings out the texture in the wall and emphasizes the dimensions of the rocks. And the pebble wall continues around to the right, and it's intersected by the third curve, which is this scorched ash and branch screen that becomes a visual screen between us and the private room. So this screen wall is very transparent. You can see through it. But it creates a sense of specialness back here, and it also creates a backdrop for this drape. When this wants to become a private room, it can close off.
David and proprietor Drew Niepornt designed a special space.
Well, you know, Robert De Niro is a very private person. We wanted to create a space that he'd feel comfortable coming into, so that space in particular is used for when he comes in.
Semi-abstract, bold paintings with intense colors adorn the walls of the back room.
Those are Robert De Niro's father's paintings, and Robert De Niro Sr. was a very noted artist. And in fact, we were just in San Francisco where they had a gallery showing of some of Bob Sr.'s paintings. And the great thing about Bob Sr. was that it gives the restaurant more of a personality and a feeling of personalness as it relates to Bob De Niro.
Simple and serene. The back room is host to the stars.
Well, actually, once someone said, they came up and said, "Why are you sitting me in the back? I don't want to sit there." And they were up in the front of the restaurant. Meanwhile, the husband saw that right next to them was Demi Moore, Alec Baldwin, Kim Basinger, and Bruce Willis. So once the waiter came, she says, "They've noticed who's sitting next to them. They want to stay." And I said, "Oh, okay, so I'm going to play a little game with them." I went back to the table. I said, "I understand you're unhappy. Please, I have another table." I'm like, "No, that's all right." I said, No. I insist. I have to have you at a better table. I don't want you unhappy." And it's like, "No, really, we want to stay." I said, "No, I couldn't live with myself. Please, you have to move." And we're like doing this reverse tug of war.
This restaurant is about the food and the show.
People are very strange when they come into restaurants. They always want the power table. I don't know what the power table is. You know, the power table for me is whatever table the food is at. But sometimes people want more than good food and good service. They want theater, and they want to be able to see people or be seen.
Nobu's patrons become friends.
We have Miramax right down the block, and they're all friends of ours, and they come in with some really great people. A lot for, it's like the commissary for lunch, you know. So it's like little Hollywood down here in Tribeca. And it's exciting. We like it. And we've become friends with a lot of the people, too. You know, Gwyneth Paltrow comes in all the time, and she's a friend. I see people that walk in the door, and when they're being seated to their table, they turn around and go, "I'm so excited I'm at Nobu." I love that. That means they're excited to be here. They want to participate in the energy of the room. And to me, that's dining in style.
Coming up, special chilled sake, seaweed walls, and Next Door Nobu on Dining in Style. Nobu sets the trend for sushi in New York City. Perpetually booked, Nobu is so popular, a second restaurant was created to accommodate the overflow of diners.
I don't. All right, thank you.
It's the same food though.
Absolutely.
It's called Next Door Nobu.
And it is coincidentally right next door to Nobu. So it's over here, and it gave us a chance to take the design from Nobu and relook at some of the things, and it's actually a little bit more informal. This is a historic facade in that it had been there forever, part of this Tribeca landscape. We left the facade pretty much as is and said, let's have the surprise happen when you go inside. What was great for us in terms of design is that Next Door Nobu, given that it was meant to be a little bit more informal, is we wanted to use found materials as much as possible. Probably the most unique example is this wall. And when you walk into the restaurant, one of the things we like to do is have something that kind of seduces you into the space. And this wall is a sinuous curving wall that runs the length of the restaurant with two big openings, one for this banquette grouping and one for the sushi bar. And it is actually made out of seaweed. So it's sheets of the same seaweed that the rolls are made out of, laminated onto the wall and lacquered, and then lit with a series of wall washers above, and has this great sheen to it.
Unusual fabrics create quilted banquettes. Fishing baskets become chandeliers.
So we found these antique Japanese fishing baskets and retrofitted them with these lights, and at night they seem to just sort of float.
Texture and sparkle create the style.
Whereas in Nobu we have the big fabric wall hangings. Here we used a Japanese floor mat, which has an incredible amount of texture. And then one of the special menu items and design features here is the raw bar. So we inserted mother of pearl into the plaster, which has a nice reference and also creates a little bit of sparkle and just a little bit of surprise.
Whimsical elements decorate the space.
From a design point of view, we've enclosed the bar in this glowing lumicite wall and surrounded it with these sake bottles. It gives a great color. These are actually all sake bottles from Nobu, so they are the real thing. One of the exciting things about working on this project is most of the plates and serving dishes are custom as well. Some of these bowls are made specifically for this restaurant, some of the big, large serving dishes. It creates a lot of color on the back wall, and you can see how it's set up for easy service.
The sushi bar is made from soft black river rocks. Fish fabric drapes over stools. Next Door Nobu strives for its own identity, with an emphasis on the raw bar.
We're standing at the sushi bar at Next Door Nobu, and the end of it has a raw bar component. And that was one of the most fun things about this restaurant, in that most raw bars tend to be a long bed of ice where you just sit the seafood. Here we've done a vertical raw bar, ice in the bottom, ice in each one of these 4 pieces. And these are 2 woks, one inside of the other, welded together for insulation.
An array of sushi is served on colorful platters. Delicious dishes emphasize taste and texture. Warm water spiny lobster invites chopsticks. Tender pieces of squid and crunchy asparagus coated with rich butter and garlic sauce is seared in a wok.
3 cups squid pasta, please.
Squid pasta. Hey, squid pasta with light garlic sauce. Very nice. Thank you very much.
Stunning sensations with delicate flavors. At Next Door Nobu, ordering is an art. Limos arrive and people line up for an experience at Next Door Nobu. Coming up, chilled sake, sushi roll pastries, and the scene at Nobu on Dining in Style. Nobu, a sushi sensation in New York City, where chefs create stunning presentations. And the food is as much about texture as it is about flavor. Diners savor the natural balance of salty, sweet, and oily flavors of the fish. Salad with edible flowers is a house specialty. Waiters call orders to sushi chefs, who create exquisite sushi with fresh ingredients. Sushi is raw fish with rice. It is served raw to protect the essence of the fish. Assorted sushi rolls are presented on colorful platters. Sake complements the exquisite food. Sake is rice wine. An antique bank vault protects an array of special sake.
Sake is actually best served cold, and the reason for that is you can really taste it. And we serve it in this bamboo pitcher. It's fresh bamboo. It's green, and once it becomes like this color, old, we get rid of it. And we chop down a new tree, and it's chilled. It really tastes great. And we serve it in these. It's very Gilligan's Island, you know. We have these little bamboo cups. Traditional Japanese people sometimes like it in this, which is called a masu, and it's a cedar flavor, and it adds a little bit of a different touch. But they also have trouble drinking it. It's like the Japanese dribble cup. It's very difficult to do.
Nobu sake is made especially for the restaurant.
It's called hakusetsu, and I actually was just at the island. It's called Sado Island, and it's amazing what they do. They play music for the sake, and they feel that it ages it better, or it makes for a more balanced, smooth flavor. I mean, it's great, so I'm not going to argue with them, but you know, it's a little wacky to have the classical music playing with the sake.
Sake is primarily from Japan.
But there's one actually called Hakusan. It's made in Napa Valley. It's just a fermented rice. The inside of the rice grain is where the flavor is, so you have to polish it. So the more you polish it, the more you'll get to the pure flavor. Polishing costs money, so that's why one would be more expensive than the other. Some sake's, $24, another is $5. Interesting enough, I didn't know that they aged sake. I mean, I thought it was best fresh, but we had that 10-year-old sake in Japan, which was fantastic, and Robert De Niro's favorite.
Served in tiny jeweled cups, dessert sake completes the meal.
We've infused fruit into the sake. We have a coconut, a lemon, and a berry. And it's not in-your-face sweet. It just resembles the flavors of the fruit. And sake has a little bit of a sweet flavor anyway, so it works well. People seem to like it.
Dessert is a textural treat. And at Nobu, the chocolate uzu roll is a twist on classic French pastry. Uzu is a tart Japanese citrus fruit. Sushi roll for dessert? Ronnie Ross is the executive pastry chef.
This is our Japanese brown sugar coffee creme brulee with macadamia wafers. This is our yuzu roll with green tea ice cream and yuzu sauce. And this is our bento box. Very popular dessert here. Chocolate souffle with white chocolate sauce, shiso sauce, which is Japanese mint, and green tea ice cream.
This is like a Nobu signature dessert.
Japanese flavors create beautiful desserts.
Here we use Japanese brown sugar, and the shiso is a Japanese herb, and a green tea ice cream is very Japanese.
Creative, conceptual food, a cutting-edge chef. The hippest New York crowd at Nobu, where energy rustles through the fairy tale forest setting as heads turn to see which celebrity has just walked through the door. A sushi sensation in New York City. Nobu and next door Nobu set the trend for sushi dining in style.